Hello, hello, hello. Well, it seems like I'm getting through a few things at the moment to review, and I've got this that I really want to share with the budget conscious Android fan. This is really a new purchase. This is the FREETEL Samurai KIWAMI. KIWAMI. Don't know what that means. So what is it? Well, of course it's an Android phone. I'm going on vacation. I was thinking I don't want to take my iPhone 10 with me, but I do need two phones, one for my Saudi SIM and then one for my Scottish UK SIM. So I wanted to find at least an Android phone, and then so I was just looking. I didn't have a budget in mind, but I really didn't want to spend a lot of money. I looked on Souk. I was looking for at least less than 300 reals or less than $100, and then I didn't see anything that really grabbed my attention on Souk. So I looked on eBay and I just came across this. Now, this cost $88 on eBay, and I have seen it on Amazon for $89. The Samurai FREETEL is a Japanese company, and this is not a brand new phone. This is, I think, was released in 2016. So I mean, it's 2 years old, but for $88, and I'll get into it. I think it is pretty decent. So let's get into it. The spec is a 6-inch QHD, a Quad HD screen. It has a MediaTek X10 Helio, which is, I think it's 2 gig octa-core processor, 3 GB of RAM. It's 32 GB of internal memory, and you can either no, let me get this right. I think it's only single SIM and SD card, if I can remember. So you don't have the option, although I'm not 100% sure. I might have to check that if there's a dual SIM. And I'm looking on the website here. Let's see. It doesn't say. It has a 3400 mAh battery, and camera is a 21 megapixel rear camera, and it's let me see, 8 megapixel front camera, and I think this is the bargain of the year of 2018. It really, for as far as I can see, only has one kind of negative, which I will get into. So this reminds me of, I had the original OnePlus One, and it's kind of reminds me a bit of that. It's a big phone, but it's not that big, and it is the screen. Oh, hold on, it's gone into the sort of nighttime mode. Let me get this night shift. Okay, that's that. I was using that for reading, so kind of reminds me of it. It's just a big phone. The screen, I think originally when this came out, it was $350, nearly $400. The screen is absolutely brilliant for $88. A Quad HD screen, I think it is just really, really very good. I've got it on no brightness. I'm just going to turn the brightness up now because I was reading my book. Now, actually, now I'm thinking to get rid of my. I don't need an Android tablet now. I'm using this. I can watch. I watched the Little Drummer Girl on here last night from the BBC. It looked really excellent. And then I read my book on here on Era Reader, the one that I'm always. Let me see what it's called. Make sure I'm not talking rubbish. It's called. Where is it? I don't, because I like to share these apps with you. Read Era, sorry, it's called. It's this one here. You can see. Can you see it there? It's hard, not easy to focus this. This is it there. Let's try and get it a bit more. Oh, anyway, Read Era. It's a really good free ebook, because I was reading my ebook there. I'm only going to quickly mention this app here. Well, I won't say its name. Download it and watch it. So it really did everything that my tablet was doing, and also it made a phone call. So for $88, I'm just really pleased. I think anybody who would, and you might even get it cheaper, who knows if you look, anybody who bought this would not be disappointed. The back, well, I mean, here I'll just go over there's a volume rocker and the power button, and on this side you have the two SIM trays. So sorry, the two trays, one for the SIM, one for the SD card. I'm still unsure about if it's two, you can use two SIMs. It's a micro USB, not USB-C, and it has a headphone jack and fingerprint scanner. So I wouldn't say the fingerprint scanner is the best in the world, but most of the time it's working. So look, for $88 I'm not going to quibble. It is a very decent phone. Sound quality from calls is decent, and I did Antutu, and now this is say the Helio X10 from MTK, so I'm not expecting a really high score here, and as you can see it was 53,000 and nearly 54,000, but to be honest with you, actually means nothing, that score, because in the day-to-day operation this phone feels very very quick. I don't notice any issues at all with opening and closing various apps. I'm just going through here. There's another one. Can you see this name here? For those of us that like entertainment, that's my book. I've let me just close all these for you. Yes, File Explorer, which is probably the best for me. I just wish it was anyway. The Pro version is actually a bit better. So the Antutu score doesn't really tell you anything, especially, I mean, if you look at the I'm quite sure how that keeps coming on. I must be doing something. If you look at the score, say, of the Nexus 9, which I think was like 130 something, whatever thousand, that tablet, this works a lot better. And I think maybe with that 3 GB of RAM now, I believe that 3 GB of RAM is you know, the minimum requirement for Android. So the negative things, and I've just will say, it's only got Android 5.1, which is Lollipop, which for me is not a big deal as long as I can still install my apps that I'm using, and really using it mostly for media consumption, and when I'm going on holiday just for some phone call. I'm going to really be using it like a tablet for the most part, so hopefully all my apps will be covered. So yeah, I tried to update it, nothing doing with the there was no update available, so who knows if it will get an update. But you know, with this FREETEL now, there is a FREETEL Samurai 2 available, so I don't know. I did see online somewhere that there is a ROM available, but you could flash it. I think it gives you Android Marshmallow, but I'm not that bothered, to be honest with you. It's fine just now. So the biggest negative, I would say, is probably the battery. Look, it will get you through probably the day, as in an 8-hour day, just about. But I think with this big screen, you really need to look at saving as much battery power as you possibly can. So yeah, I mean, that is, to me, the there's the Kaspersky battery saver app, which I think is not bad. I'm going to download that and see if I can get try and eke out an hour or two from it. But yeah, to me that is the downside of the only downside of this. I just really like it. Feels really good in the hand. It's kind of made of it's a metal obviously frame, and this has got that kind of texturized, almost rubbery feeling to it. I just like it. It's why it reminds me a bit of a OnePlus One. Both the cameras are they say that the main camera is a Sony 21 megapixel camera, and the photos are not bad. They're not anywhere as good as, say, from my iPhone, but they're not bad. And the video was more than acceptable. And if I can remember, let me just, so that I'm not lying to you, where's the camera? Let's see, settings, video, video quality. It will record 4K, it's saying. It basically doesn't tell you. I'm assuming this is full HD, which is high, medium is 720, and low is, well, whatever's the next one down, I don't know. But yeah, look, again, I think it was more than acceptable, and I'll bring you back to, it was $88. Now, I know I haven't downloaded any games here, but I know that processor and 3 GB of RAM, you'll probably play a few games that are a bit more demanding games than a more budget-friendly phone. So I don't think you'll experience too many problems with it. If you can get it for that price, it is really worth it. In the box, there's just a charger and there's a pair of headphones. Now, the only other accessory that you might struggle to find, of course, is a cover. It's got a Gorilla Glass 3, so hopefully the screen was pretty tough. But yeah, trying to find a cover, you would find it no doubt online, and certainly on eBay, I'm sure, maybe even Amazon, but it's not going to be easy for me to find here in KSA. What else can I tell you about this? I'm just really enjoying it, and I'm glad I found it. I'm using the Microsoft Launcher app, and I've been using this on other phones, so anybody really looking for a pretty decent launcher that does everything that you want, try downloading from the app store, Microsoft Launcher. Excuse me. It's really pretty decent. So anything else I can tell you about this? No, I'm just really pleased. This basically what a travel companion. It's a tablet, it's an e-reader, it's your media center, it's your phone, it's really got everything. And if only had a bit more battery life, would be like totally brilliant. But anyway, up for $88, I'm not going to complain any longer. So I forgot to mention it does have a dual LED flash. So anybody have any questions, anything like that, and I will do my best to kind of get back to you in a timely fashion. That's the FREETEL Samurai KIWAMI. Cool, I like it. Bye.